Diversity in leadership and management. A big topic, and one that is, I guess, discussed significantly not only within the sporting sector, but globally as well. I did put the slide in just for a laugh, because when you type into Google CEO, that is the first image that comes up of a female. Go home and do it. I didn't believe it, but if you put it into Google, that is the first image that comes up of a CEO, female. So what is diversity? I guess diversity, traditionally, when again going back into the 70s, diversity was very clear about colour and race. So diversity was about black and white. And I'm just going to read through a quote that was a futurist, Gary Marx, has expanded on the term of diversity. And he says, diversity is no longer simply black and white. The definition keeps growing. It now includes social and economic factors, race, ethnicity, national origin, colour, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, disability, political and religion affiliation, language and linguistics, physical and cognitive ability and quality, political beliefs, educational background, geographical location, marital status, parental status, and life experience. So when we start to talk about diversity, I want to be very clear that this is not just gender focused. There is a big impact on the fact that within society there is a vast underrepresentation of females within leadership and management positions. And I said I don't want to harp on it, but there was a research study undertaken last year and produced by McKinney Global Research Institute that demonstrated that $12 trillion worth of value is not gained globally because of gender inequality. Coming back to the document that was presented by the Department of Sport around the Gold Program, which is an initiative driven very strongly by our minister, females, when interviewed, were said 80% of them participated in sport. So there's not necessarily an issue around participation in sport with women. But when you have a conversation around leadership and management roles, that drops to 32%. I think the opportunities that we need to look at when we're talking about diversity is not to just think gender, it's to think diversity of thought, because it's what individuals bring and their varying thoughts, what they bring to the table, and the experiences that they bring that can enable change and opportunity. We need to provide mentoring opportunities, because you can't have an expectation that people improve and become a leader if they're not provided with an opportunity and given an opportunity to lead. There needs to be changes to policy and practice, which I know is happening, but it needs to be integrated into everything we do and even into the club level. And you need champions. You need champions that can stand up and talk, champions of ethnic background, champions of different races and sexual orientation. All of this adds to diversity. And we also need to modify our environments. Statistically, if there's flexibility around a working environment, you boost productivity by up to 42%. So that's just the traditional work hours of 9 to 5. If there's flexibility in that, 42%, that's significant. We can't ignore that.